Hi everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I'm coming to you on Sunday morning. It's a nice bright Sunday morning here, and I'm just about to get out for the day. I'm not going to get out a lot when I say get out for the day. This is a nice day, quiet day of rest. I'll go out for a walk, go downtown, pick up some bananas. I've had my orange juice. I've already got about 1,400 calories in at 9 o'clock in the morning because I've had my orange juice and bananas. Anyhow, let's get to the subject. And hope I'm not going to ruffle any feathers today, because as I get into this topic, I'm kind of going in, before anybody's mind goes there, your associations may not be my associations. If I say something that resembles any person, this is kind of a generalization of the whole, and this is not picking out or singling or picking on any guru or leader in particular. It's just kind of, I've been noticing that it seems like, especially in the YouTube world, but it's on Facebook too, because I can notice that from the traffic and the interaction on Facebook pages, on Google communities that I go to, and it seems like in some ways, especially on YouTube, it's become more about the personality than the message. And another thing to do with some of these leaders and gurus, I hate the word guru because guru kind of implies a special relationship. To me, a guru is somebody that has had knowledge, that's kind of comes from India. That's, and my perception was it was always something that's been passed down for a long time. Raw food and raw veganism hasn't been around that long, so I really would not ever even consider anybody a guru under any circumstances. Leaders, okay, I don't know, I've never been somebody in life that needs a leader per se. But good leaders are good leaders, and we'll get into in a minute what I consider, make someone a good leader. I've got a great quote that I found on Facebook this morning that just happened to pop up as I was thinking about this subject. But I will say this, sometimes it's even the perception of the audiences or the people that are taking it in. I would say there are some of these so-called leaders out there that don't necessarily foster this cult-like following. They just, by their sheer numbers, they're following kind of, sometimes I don't even think they're following necessarily. The attitudes of the followers doesn't represent the leader, because you've got some of these big names that I actually enjoy them. I don't have any problems with them, but they have some really nasty followers. But anyhow, the point of this being is we should always be listening to the message. Don't get too caught. I love for you to come to my channel, and yeah, I want to get views on my videos and whatever, but I never want it to become too much about me. And I try to go back and watch some of my videos and learn from each one that I do, and see things that I don't like, just in my concept of trying to present this channel. And everybody, and we all have to, ego is a very, very dangerous and tricky thing. We all like to say that we'll be humble and whatever, but you start feeding an ego a little bit, and it's very easy for it to get out of control, even in the humblest of people. So that's something that you always have to be careful of. And I think if you're going to do a show on health, on wellness, on trying to help people change their lives, we're not selling a car here, and even if we're doing something commercial with this, the message has always got to come first. And even if you're selling something, I don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to sit here and bash. Eventually in the future, and that's been my long-term end game for a while, is I will be doing raw food vacations, raw vegan vacations, yoga vacations and retreats. But that's not a big departure. It's not like I went to this lifestyle and I'm like, woohoo, how can I cash in on it? I did vacations when I finally share my old website that's being redone. I've been in the vacation business down here for 12 years. I've just decided to go in a different way. And when I start getting into introducing what I'm going to do down here, I'm very, very adamant. There's got to be a line. There's got to be a line about what I'm doing here, and my message can never be altered. I had an opportunity the other day. I might tell you about it at another time, but it was an opportunity that could have been, and I'm not in a financially great place. I'm happy with my life. I get by, but as I'm getting older, I could do a little bit better financially to get ready for retirement. had an opportunity the other day dealing with health products and pushing some health products, not on my site or not on my channel because I'm not that big yet, but this is like an internet guru that knows how to do all this stuff, all the right tweaking, perfect website, SEO, this and that. And he's not a bad guy, he's just not into this lifestyle, and I couldn't do it. It just like, I told him in a very nice way that I wasn't being judgmental, but like, you know, super powders, and I even think deer antler and stuff was on there, and even though some people claim that's clear, I just couldn't do that because I don't want it to ever seem like anything I'm sharing is information that's been altered with a purpose. Even if there's a purpose out there, if I suggest something, I always want the information to be as true as it can be. Okay, I kind of got off subject there. I'll quit rambling a little bit. I made myself a few notes here this morning, which I'm loving. You know, these iPads are great. Okay, I was just like spitting a little bit this morning. Like I said, I like to write down a few things, and then it kind of gives me bullet points in my own head. Yeah, you know, like I said, I've been into this for 2 years, and your first year, you're just like, I'm a sponge, I'm just absorbing, I'm watching a lot of different people, and that's what I would do too. And I'll probably come back to that point, and that's going to be one of the focal points here, but I love, and I've quoted this one before, I love Bruce Lee's mentality, philosophy on things. He says, take what works, discard the rest. You know, watch everybody, even watch people you say you don't like. If you don't like their style, let's say, okay, I'm just going to use Durian Rider for a second. Durian Rider's very popular. A lot of people don't like him, but he gets that segment that don't like him because of his style. He's very brusque. He uses swear words. He's right in your face. He's telling you this. But you know what? He's a true guy. I don't agree with a lot of the things he says. I don't eat exactly like he says, but he's an honest guy. He's sincere about what he does. He loves animals, and he's gotten results. So I watch Durian Rider. And I take what I can take from him, and the rest, the stuff that I don't agree with or that's not part of me. I mean, he's a world-class athlete, so I don't watch so much the cycling stuff, although I do sometimes kind of as a fan. But watch a lot of different people. Watch people with opposing views. See how they're similar. See what they're different on. And see if the differences, always ask why their message is what there is. See if you can find reasons back there. See if there's an ulterior purpose in any of them. There may not be. I'm not trying to put that in your head. It just seems like, you know, everybody gets on, and this happens in every community, in every interest that's out there, especially on the internet. You know, everybody likes celebrity. Everybody likes to have this person that they go gaga over. It's the little kids, you know, I don't even know if Justin Bieber is still the hot thing among teenage girls, but there's people like that in the raw food world and in the vegan world that it seems like, and I'll tune in, but I'm like, okay, they're a dynamic personality, they're good looking, they do this and that, but what did I just get out of that video? And then there's other people that are very low production that not a lot of people know of that I watch, and I'm like, wow, I got a lot out of that one. I just had this thought, we'll go from here. Dogma is very prevalent in the raw vegan wellness communities these days, and there has emerged those that, like the Stepford Wives, chant the teachings of their leaders constantly and fight to the death over any that would dare oppose their chosen one. This is especially true in forums and on pages, but I've found that dynamic. I was in a sports betting forum real heavy for a couple of years before I got into the raw foods, and actually it overlapped. That was part of my job, and it was the same thing there. You have the same dynamics in almost every community, so it's kind of that's to be expected. But and Stepford Wives, some of you younger ones, you'll have to Google that and see what Wikipedia has to say. That was a myth. The Stepford Wives were just like the people that, the women that they were just almost hypnotized and by their cult-like leader. You know, that had drawn them in, and they just marched around and spewed whatever the leader said all the time. They didn't think. In other words, it's about thinking, people. I'm not bashing anybody here. Somebody's going to probably take this as I'm bashing. It's not about bashing. Watch all of them. Watch all of them and watch every video that all of them says. I'm saying I'm going to give them views. Watch them. But use your brain to pick out what you can use. Don't jump on a celebrity bandwagon just because you like so-and-so. Even there's people I like their vibe, but I don't find like what they're doing physically serves me. Yeah, it's just like the next little thing goes right into that. The next thought I was having is the groupie cult member mentality is not going to serve you well in learning more about this lifestyle. Don't get caught up so heavily in the personalities. Because when you become like a cult-like personality, or you become a groupie of somebody, it's almost like a part of your mind shuts off. Now all you have open is, all you're receiving is any knowledge, energy, and whatever this one person has, because you've just like devoted yourself and you've become obsessed with this person. And all these other people that may have great knowledge, just coming in one ear and going out the other. Or, maybe your favorite leader or guru is fighting with this other leader or guru. So, well, I'm mad. I'm with Guru A, or I follow Leader A, and he's my guy, and he's fighting with Leader B, so I'm not watching Leader B. Leader B could be a jerk. Leader B could be whatever, but Leader B could also be sharing some information that Leader A is not sharing. And you're cutting yourself off of a stream of information because of personal soap opera type stuff. And you're kind of you're shortchanging yourself there too. You're basically saying, I'm not smart enough to go through all this information for myself and decide, okay, yeah, this actually makes some sense, or no, this doesn't make sense. Or looking at your leader and having to disagree and say, well, no, that doesn't make any sense. Or looking at somebody you consider maybe your enemy in this little Game of Thrones raw world, and yeah, they've got something of value to say. Value is value, truth is truth. It doesn't matter who says it. You can hate the person. I like to bring him up just because he was a heinous person, not because of any other reason, but just kind of a point of logic. If Hitler said something that was true, it's still true. Hitler is one of the most despised men in history. A horrible person, burning in the fires right now, if you will. But it didn't alter the fact that if he said a fact that was true, it was true. Truth doesn't change based on who is saying it. Just rambling a little bit here, just throwing a bunch of different ideas in there. Not going to just keep on lingering on this one. This is just something to get you thinking. To get you thinking. It's not to tell you how to think. I'm not telling you how to think. I'm not telling you who to watch. I'm not telling you who not to watch. I'm not telling you how to watch. I'm just saying use what God's given you. Use what the universe has given you. Use this marvelous thing you have above your shoulders to make your own decisions, to go through information, and as you go and go, your intuition develops and you can weed out this stuff. You get better and better at, in the beginning, yeah, you might read two opposing statements and be clueless. I don't know, one could be just as right as the other to me. But as you go on and you get more information and you study and learn, you will be able to weed out a lot of things that are right and a lot of things that aren't. Another thing too is like the ones, and this was one of those photos that was shared on Facebook this morning. It really caught my eye, and I said, like I said, I had already planned to do this video, but this is just perfect, and I have to really think on it. I'm just looking at it, thinking on it over and over. True leaders don't create followers; they create more leaders. They create more leaders. As I read that statement and I was thinking about how that applies to this video, and I'm thinking about the people I watch on YouTube, I think about the people that are kind of doing that, and I think about the people that are not. Well, I think about the people that are creating followers, nothing but good little robotic, just seeing between here and there followers, and I see the ones that are explorers. I see the ones that are sharing knowledge, that planting that seed in people that could turn them into leaders in the future. It's a very subtle thing to notice, but it's a different kind of knowledge. So I thought on this one, just to finish it up, I might do a total video just on the people that I watch. Like I kind of am trying to also share, I've got a couple of notes made for another possible video on my process of getting, storing, using information, like who I go to, how I keep it organized, how I store it, and that whole process. But for right now, I'm going to tell you some of the ones that I watch, and the reason is very, and I'm leaving some people out that are probably that I watch all the time, but I can't get everybody. These just came to the top of my head, and in no particular order. I watch he doesn't pump out a ton of videos. I watch Plant-Based Athlete. And Plant-Based Athlete, he actually, I think he eats cooked food almost every day. He's a high carb, low fat vegan. He's a no nonsense kind of guy. He studies a lot. He has a lot of good knowledge. He's a very even spoken person. He doesn't get into drama. He just kind of tells it like it is. He's kind of he doesn't, without going overboard and trying to overdo it. He's kind of a peacemaker. He tells people, get your heads out of blah 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 and let's get focused on what's real. He's a good, ethical vegan. I like that, and I really enjoy Plant-Based Athlete. Another one that she just came back on recently is Raw Vibrations. Jessie, and she's a great energy. I get her a lot for just her disposition. She's always happy. She's always smiling. She just puts a positive message out there. It's not, it's kind of like me. She's not getting into deep science and explaining the ketones and this chain and blah, 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 but it just always puts a smile on my face to watch her, and I've become a regular watcher of her. Now my number one probably, and this is not, I mention her a lot, but this is not like what I'm talking about just glomming onto somebody just to follow them. Tanny Raw, if I have to prioritize my videos, I've always got to get to hers first because I'm learning something. And that's the bottom line with it, is percentage-wise, I learn more watching her videos than any other person out on YouTube. I take more recipes away. I've made more tweaks to my diet. I've learned more facts about my body and how it relates to this raw vegan lifestyle through Tanny Raw. Plain and simple. Another one I'll make a quick mention is Costa Yoga. She was raw for a while. She still eats really, I'm pretty sure she's vegan. Still vegan, not 100% raw, but I never got into her for the raw thing anyway. She's Ashtanga Yoga, Ashtangi. I watch her for her yoga stuff. She's very simple. She does some spiritual stuff on her channel, but very humble person. All these people share the same thing. They're very humble people. Dara Dubonnet, get some great recipes from her. I'm on her page More with Dara. It's a great community over there. There's no fight. There's nothing but, I've been amazed by that community. It's almost like sitting around waiting for somebody, some jerks to pop in or somebody to say something rude or to see some unloving behavior, but just a great bunch of people over there. Great bunch of people. I can't say more about Dara. She's just a really good soul, good person. And then down there, I just put them a little bit further down. I don't watch them as much because I've got other people that have moved up. But I've watched a lot of Durian Rider and Freely in the past. And I still try to fit them in, even though, like I say, I don't eat the cooked food, and I know they've gone more towards cooked food. Well, not cooked. They still eat more fruit than anybody on this planet. But what I'm saying is I ain't got any problem with what they're doing. It's just they're not the top of my priority list because I've kind of worked through their videos, but sometimes you will take these people that are staples on YouTube and you'll go through cycles. I don't need to, I'm not, I know Durian Rider has that band, and Freely's too, where they watch everything. If Freely went and took poop, they watch everything. I've gotten a lot of good information from them, so I kind of now, they're on the second rung. I go in when they really got something and I'm like, ooh, that looks good. But they're a great example of people, but I wouldn't necessarily, and sometimes I think they get judged, and I'll leave it at that. I wouldn't necessarily judge Durian Rider and Freely too much by their followers, because they're not quite as zealous as the followers can be sometimes. So back to what I had said earlier, you can't always, if you have followers that have a certain behavior, you can't always blame the leaders. Now there's some leaders that kind of foster that, and it's kind of like, follow me. I would prefer from now on you will be calling me Father. Jack will no longer be used. My name is Father, and I have a ranch down here. No, I'm just joking with you. But anyhow, I'm being a little silly today. I just like to have fun on the weekends. But you see what I'm saying. One last word and then I'm out of here. Like I said before, the whole point of this video is not to tell you who to watch, not to change who you're watching, but just maybe get you thinking about how you're watching. Is take the message, listen to the message, and put it through that filter system up there. Does it make sense to me? And you can still watch your favorites. You know, I have people I watch too. That I don't take anything from, but I enjoy their personality. Now, I don't watch every video, but take the message, people. It's all about the message, not about the personality. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and you won't see this on Sunday, but I hope you're having a beautiful weekend. I love to get out and just enjoy on the weekends. See ya.